Hey guys, Sara here with Hearth Home Designs. I am so excited to tell you that I am lucky enough to add a second Shapeoko to my shop. So I'm going to bring you along while I unbox and assemble my new CNC. Let's get started.
Carbide 3D has done an incredible job with their assembly instructions. I particularly like the color-coded notes, pro tips, and warnings that are included throughout. Knowing that not everyone thoroughly reads or even skims the directions before starting assembly, these highlighted notes really help draw your attention to the important tidbits of information. While the instructions are easy to follow and include pictures for nearly every step, it's still nice to see how some of the steps are completed in video format. Please note that this video is meant to give you a general idea of what to expect when assembling your Shapeoko. It is not a step-by-step assembly guide. As you unbox the machine, the biggest piece of advice I can give you is to resist the urge to open each box and take out every single piece. Of course, you'll want to take inventory to double check that all components have been sent to you, but I highly recommend keeping your parts in their original boxes. But more on that later. Before starting out, pay attention to one of the big red warning notes in the instructions. Do not assemble the Shapeoko on the floor. Have your workspace or table ready. While assembling the frame, it's easier to level and square as you go versus trying to do it all at the end. Take a few extra minutes to adjust the leveling feet. It'll be worth it. Remember how I said to keep the pieces in their boxes? That comes into play while assembling the rails and carriages. It's recommended that you keep the Y-axis left carriage on the left and the Y-axis right carriage on the right. A little note for those instruction skimmers out there like myself. Use a little bit of thread locker on the screws that go through the back of the plate and into the rear spindle mount. That will help keep them secure and reduce the chance of vibration, causing the screws to become loose over time. I would like to note that even though I failed to include it in the video, I did use a hex wrench to tighten the tensioning screw at this point. I hope you didn't throw away the left and right carriage boxes already, because they're about to become extremely helpful. Use the empty boxes to support the X-axis rail and allow for easier attachment of the Y-axis left carriage. One of the pro tips from Carbide 3D's instructions is that it's helpful to have another set of hands during the rail system stage of assembly. And oh boy is that true. I tried to do it by myself and I threw my entire base out of square. The gantry system is just too large, it's too heavy, and it's plain awkward to try to handle it by yourself. Belting around the XZ carriage motor is a little bit challenging, but if you take your time and use a small hex wrench to pull the belt loop up and over the X-axis motor pulley, you'll get it. I later went in and fully tightened the screws that were holding the drag chains in place. Limit switch installation is a key component to your Shapeoko, since the limit switches tell your machine when it's reached the sides. It's important that the wires you are attempting to pull slide freely. If not, make sure they are not snagged at the other end of your drag chain. Carbide has made the wiring process extremely easy. Seriously, each wire is labeled, as is its counterpart. The hardest part is not doing exactly what I did and attaching the chains before making sure you pulled enough wire through. That's easily fixed though. Speaking as someone who's used both the DeWalt and Makita routers for my Shapeoko, I'm really excited for the Carbide 3D version. It seems similar to the Makita and has an RPM range of 10 to 32K. It's shipped with extra brush sets, and the best part is the extra long cord. I know that doesn't seem like a big perk, but when the other routers had 8-foot cords and this one has a 12-foot cord, there's a huge convenience factor. Make sure to check your V-wheels. If any of them spin freely, turn the eccentric nuts clockwise until the wheels engage with the rail.
And there you have it, a completed Shapeoko CNC machine from Carbide 3D. Now we will be focusing on squaring and tramming the machine in a later episode, but if you have any questions in the meantime, drop a comment below. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys!